So, you've made the big step and you've moved to the US. This is an exciting time and is a life-changing move. Regardless of the reasons why you've made the move, whether it be for work or for school or for love, you're probably going to find out soon that as similar as Canadian and American culture might appear to be, there are a lot of differences as well. If you haven't already watched it, I'm going to suggest that you watch my video on understanding culture shock, because you will, guaranteed at some point, experience it. And your shock won't be about the big things. It'll be about the day-to-day, tiny, seemingly insignificant differences that begin to get annoying and wear you down. The good news is that for most people, it's temporary, and understanding the process is more than half the battle. The link is right here, and I invite you to watch it. There are some things, however, that you are definitely going to need to know. The actual list would be really long, but here are 6 things that we thought would be interesting to highlight. If you have already moved to America, after watching what I've highlighted, I would truly appreciate it if you left a comment on what you think and what you might add. So let's get to the list. Be prepared for paperwork. You might be thinking, I'll just go down to the DMV, which is the Department of Motor Vehicles, to get my license renewed. But get ready to stand in long lineups everywhere, and you'll need to get used to having all of the papers that you bring being stamped. And that's for pretty much everything you're going to need to do that requires submitting papers. America is the land of bureaucracy. When it comes to work, there are fewer holidays in the US. Most of the world is pretty lucky with virtually every month having at least one statutory holiday. That's not necessarily the case in the US. Most states give employers the choice of which holidays they can offer as days off, and few actually offer that many. If you've landed a job with an employer who offers more than just a few stat holidays per year, count yourself lucky. On the discussion of work, I'm generalizing here, but for the most part, Americans work quite a few more hours per week than a lot of places in the world. And if you're in middle or upper management, be prepared to be on call all of the time. You will require medical insurance. Coming from a country with universal medical care, which is most of the world except the US, you're going to need to sit down with either the HR department where you work, or if you're a student, with a counselor at your university or college. But medical insurance can be a beast in terms of both its complexity and, of course, cost. Talk to somebody and work through your options and take notes. Now, depending on where in the US you are or will be living, the culture, political opinions, and general lifestyle will vary a great deal. And where some places will be fairly similar to what you're used to, for the most part, be prepared to see some significant differences. My advice to you is to roll with it as much as possible. It's easy to get bogged down with these differences, but instead, try approaching them as if you're asked to give a report. Observe the differences and see if you can come up with a cultural explanation as to why this difference exists. This will give you a great perspective, but not only that, you can be sure that when you return home to visit, or when friends and family from home come to see you, you'll definitely want to be able to explain these differences. Try not to be too critical. Simply observe. Think of yourself as a sociologist. As a foreigner, you will definitely want to get a credit card, and this is something that you'll want to do as soon as you can. As a foreigner, you are starting from zero in terms of credit, and hands down, the fastest way of gaining a positive credit rating is to get a credit card. Now, you might be thinking, How can I get a credit card if I don't have a credit rating in the US? Well, this is a perfect segue to talk about the sponsor of this video. As a Canadian who has just moved to the US, you'll find it challenging without a local credit history. This is where Nova Credit comes into play. They've partnered with Equifax in Canada and American Express to help you use your Canadian credit history to apply for credit cards in the US. If your application is accepted, you can start building your US credit history straight away. This has benefits way beyond just the credit card itself. With the US credit history, you can apply for apartments, loans, mortgages, and other products and services much more easily. Learn about Nova Credit by clicking on the website in the description. So there you have it. A few points to keep in mind as you make your life in the US. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Until next time.